What is up, Frickers? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to Esports Talk and the COD Fantasy Draft Update number 1. We have 5 majors and, of course, champs upcoming. First major now down. We're here to give you guys an update on who's the best of the best here after the draft, and I'm feeling pretty confident, guys.
I'm not feeling too confident, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I don't know.
Feel like I know Call of Duty pretty goddamn well.
All right, we'll take a quick look at the stats here.
Please do, Peter.
All right, so Jake, total of 16 points, tied for first. He's got Dallas and the Subliners, both with 6 points. Subliners looked like a shaky pick, but came back real strong this major. Yeah. Minnesota Rocker doing pretty solid 3 points. And then the Seattle Surge still with that 1 point, still hanging in there. I am tied with you in first. I've got FaZe with 8 points, carrying my whole team.
Lucky motherfucker.
Florida finally started winning. They have 3 points. Ultra have 3 points, and the Paris Legion have 2 points. They're my worst team.
The better overseas team.
Yeah, I will also point out, I drafted my team, and the next day they announced groups, and my entire team was Group B, so they all had to play each other. So I lost a ton of points with my teams playing each other.
But didn't lose enough because I'm still in last.
That's true. But speaking of losing, Hunter in third. Optic 6 points. They had a pretty good major. Thieves started strong, tailed off a little.
To your other team.
Yep.
Yeah, LAG, the Gorillas, doing pretty solid, 3 points. And then the anchor weighing you down. Those Royal Ravens with 0 points.
Really...
Can we lightly talk about, because we're not really sure the format of this so far for updates for all of you guys. So me and Pete tied for first. Hunter just right behind us. You know, any ground can be made up. I would say Pete kind of lucky to have FaZe, but I was lucky Subliners bounced back.
Yeah, Subliners beating Optic.
I mean, I would say, though, I was also pretty unfortunate because Rocker had a decent stage, and then when it came time for the actual major, really kind of just fell apart. Surge have not really found their way yet. You know, I was kind of hoping for the underdogs, the boys written off last season, to bounce back, but I'm definitely lucky to have the boys in Empire that are looking consistent as always. And again, when it comes time for Pete's roster, FaZe boys are looking nuts. I think you're going to be pretty solid throughout the entire season.
I'm ride or die Atlanta FaZe for this entire draft. Without them, who knows? Like I said, if my teams can get out of the same group and like start playing other teams, so at least when they win, I don't lose a point because the other team they play is my team.
Yeah.
So because Ultra looked great, Ultra looked really good in the major. They had a couple real close games. Paris has looked like by far the best, of the European teams. But to be fair, that's compared to the poor Ravens.
Well, all right.
Well, they have like some of the best players from Ravens old roster.
But besides that as well, I mean, you look at, I think you had probably the 3 closest teams a part of your roster, right? Between Optic and both the LA teams. Gorillas were a nice little upset in there for a little bit. I think it's so hard because we can't predict Call of Duty. Obviously, the top 3, 4 were kind of what we expected. But as of right now, there are so many changes coming down the pipeline for future majors. Like the Subliners could drop off entirely, but I have faith in my boy Clay, of course. But now that the XM4 has been GA'd, who knows what other GAs are going to be thrown out there, let alone we still don't have snipers and smokes, so we can predict as much as we want to, but right now we're kind of just riding one or two teams.
It's going to be subs only soon. I mean, that's just the next step. Subs only.
Challengers just GA'd like one of the shotguns too. It's getting out of control.
Like what GAs still blow my mind. I get it, all right? The game is broken enough where pros have to step in and be like, this is just too nuts. We need to stop. But it's just, and then you throw in the snaking. Is that going to end up in punishments?
Right.
We could tail off so many talking points because I want to talk about the disaster that has been the Royal Ravens. Like, if there is one team, and there's not many, that you look at this league and you think they got, dare I say, you got no shot. I mean, that's been an absolute disaster to watch so far.
They signed Vic, and getting Vicstar is huge for their brand, and then they sort of undid all that value.
Well, they got the TikTok boys as co-owners as well.
They got the TikTok boys, but they also gave away the twins, and you got Scraps just over there just killing it on Legion.
And then
probably their best player by a long shot.
And of course they had some roster issues, getting players into the starting lineup as well. You take a quick jab at Parasite for a try, and he definitely, I would say, held his own in those series. So clearly not even realizing who their 4 are. And I would say if any team out there, and I think this is fair to say, it's tough to watch the Royal Ravens.
I think he had, from what I was following of him, I think he had some sort of shoulder injury going on too at the time.
Yes.
Of, like, that suddenly popped up again when they started playing and like practicing all the time. And so that was going on. And then I'm not familiar enough, but like, yeah, whoever he was replacing in their lineup, so they're not really used to playing with him to begin with. And so definitely, I mean, that's got to be a tough go. I don't know what they're expecting overall.
It's tough, and then you look at Jake's best pick after Empire. The subliners coming back with 6 points. They're in a similar spot.
Yes.
They were playing subs. It's just that their subs like brought it, and Parasite had a lot, and it wasn't just him, but he had in particular a lot of really awful maps where it was just, there are times he looks like he belongs in the CDL, but there's a lot of times where it looks like he's maybe,
he's got a lot of
best.
pressure on him too, because there's
I mean,
a lot surrounding
that's true.
him.
You had what, a 10-day
gotta live up to a
contract?
lot.
What?
Yeah.
You give me 10 days with the girl, I'm going to be nervous all 10 of them, all right? Is that a weird transition?
Oh man.
We're not advocating any sort of girl-based contracts. Let's get that on.
I meant
esports
with a
talk?
girlfriend. You guys know what I meant. Anyway. Okay, so let's end on this, all right? We all got our rosters of our 4 teams. Who is the team you are most confident of your 4? I'll start off and quickly say it's got to be Empire to be the most consistent of mine. I'm still a bit wary.
We got there. Wary.
Of the rest of them. I have faith in my picks. I'd say Seattle is still towards the bottom of my table, but I'm going to give it to Empire. Still looking great.
Empire looks like one of the few teams that can put up a fight against FaZe, and it's same as last year. They started out a little rough last year against FaZe, but by the end, they're just such a young team, and they just keep always getting better.
It really does come down to who can adapt by the end. Obviously these majors matter a lot, but who can adapt by champs? I think Arcty is going to be a key defining factor compared to last season of FaZe. They were all just so young, and at that stage,
he's not getting like amazing numbers, but you can tell he just glues that team together.
So mine's Empire.
Way.
Yours is clearly FaZe.
Yeah.
Who do you got faith in of your 4?
Optic
I don't
or
know.
Thieves?
I was gonna say I would be between Optic or Thieves because I mean obviously Optic is huge. They've had some problems, but I feel like knowing the boys at Optic, like they'll be fired up about losing. Like they'll be ready. They've got the ego to like want to snap back and like really want to get in gear. But also like I feel like Thieves is kind of an underdog in it, and like they've got something to prove. I feel like they could come out swinging sometime.
And I feel like if any team can ride off of a lot of press and coverage, it might be a team like Thieves. We'll see if that, because without an audience, without fans, maybe we talk about Twitter impressions having some sort of impact because they have the Thieves community behind them, which is a huge social media following. So maybe they feel that pressure as well.
And their coach has gotten a ton of social media impressions recently with JCap. So
JCap is on fire.
That's crazy. So
yeah, and then the last thing, we do still need to figure out our punishment. So probably with this video, we'll each pick a potential punishment, and we'll maybe throw in 2 more. We'll let you guys vote on it, and that will be the punishment, whether it's some sort of like physical pain thing, or it's you have to winner gets.
Jake said yes, please.
Jake's like yes,
But yes,
yeah, we are limited in what we can do with that because we do not want to get struck.
Yes, we will definitely be posting punishment, so we make this COD Fantasy thing a little bit fun for all you guys who are watching. But either way, me and Pete tied at the top, Hunter at the bottom. Who expected any less? We'll catch you guys back here in a future update for our COD Fantasy. Until next time, take a sip for us. We'll catch you then.